So I was like, I can do that.
Yeah.
You know, I've been doing it as an employee, so what's the difference?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of difference.
Okay.
But at the time, I was like, what's the difference, you know? Let's dive on in.
But that's necessary, right? Otherwise, you can
And
start
there
to
was a lot
overthink and doubt yourself.
You can learn about that, but it's different when you're sitting next to the person that's like, come to work and they're a mess and they're falling apart.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so
You have a responsibility,
what do we do here?
Yeah.
And I guess you can just like kind of fall back on like, well, hopefully I've learned to navigate things.
Hello, Sam.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you, Amy?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm just fantastic.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast as the second guest.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
You guys are very hospitable.
Good. Well, we are in your bagel house.
We are, and I like, you know, we've changed things around a little bit, but I really like the setting. It's very nice.
It's going to be a good conversation.
I think so.
So for those listening and watching, we are recording this second episode in Little Guy Coffee and Bagel House here in Mount Maunganui in New Zealand. Sam set up Little Guy with his business partner Will back in 2019, I believe. Yeah, and it has an awesome reputation round the Mount as just being such a great spot with great energy, lovely people, amazing food, coffee, all the works. And to me, it seems that a lot of that just flows from the way that you and Will set up the business and the way that you're also running it day to day, which is awesome. So without further ado, Sam, I think we should just get straight into it because I'm very keen to listen to your story about how you got to this point in your life.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everyone else is as well. So first question for you is...
Alrighty. I think I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I mean, I kind of don't have a choice. So.
No, you don't. Yeah. You're here now. Sam, what does success look like to you at this point in your life?
You know, you could have started with an easier question, but this is a great question. Success is... I think I've become more accustomed to the idea of does what I'm doing align with my values and the things that I want to see in the world around me? Does it align with like what I'm passionate about? You know, what I want to share with other people, what I want other people to experience. Common ideas of success are like, are you making lots of money? You know, do you is your lifestyle great?
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't say that either of those things are where I would necessarily thought they would have been by now, or maybe where I want them. But at the same time, I'm enjoying the journey. That's super cliche, but without being cliche, it's like I'm enjoying the learning points.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the moments that catch me off guard. Because like those are the things that I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Didn't think that would happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, like we have this like, I don't know, like for me, when I was like 17, 18, I found myself really like casting ahead. Maybe it was because I was coming to the end of secondary school.
Yeah.
Thinking about like, what am I going to do? Am I going to go to university? Am I going to go get a job? I found myself like looking ahead going like, okay, I had marriage, right? I thought I was going to get married by 27.
Why?
Didn't quite tick that box.
Why 27?
Well, it's funny. I don't know. Where do we find these ideas? I mean, I guess we look at like what's common in society.
Yeah.
I thought that 27 was like your, you know, upper 20s, late 20s, if you want to call it that. Maybe that's a good time.
In that moment now. I bet that's...
You're 27?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I mean, feel like 21 though. It's weird. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, I'm 34 years old.
Still so young though, right?
I got ID'd the other day.
Amazing.
That was good. I felt really, it's so funny how it switches.
I know.
But like to go back to point, it's like, I don't know. I had like these ideas of like where I'd be and what I would be doing. And I think it's good to like kind of like postulate and like think about that. But I don't know.
Did you feel pressure to become a certain person?
I mean, in ways, I think there's pressure to everyone. Like for me, my parents were pretty chill. My dad especially. Like I think that there's always an underlying, like, you always feel like there's an expectation. I think that comes from ourselves though. Like we want to impress our parents. Yeah. I think subconsciously at least. Like we want to do them proud, right? Like I grew up in the church, you know? And like, so there was maybe like some conditions around like what it meant to, you know, be how your life would look in a religious context. My life now is like it's so different, but like that's cool. I don't think I felt a lot of pressure though. Yeah. I think what I was gonna say is like there are so many things that I had planned for that didn't happen. Some did. That was great. Those things were cool. Like I was like, yeah, that's like maybe that's what happens at that stage of life. But then there's been so many things that have happened since starting this business that were just massive like wake up calls and like traumatic in ways, but also learning from those things, and they kind of like jolt you. They're like, oh, is that how I respond, or is that who I am? Did I really understand that part of myself? Without getting too philosophical.
No, but we can.
We can go
and
there.
I encourage you to, but
we're just like easing into
we're
it.
easing into it. Interesting. So if we take it back to, because I know that you grew up in a really small town in the North Island in New Zealand. So, and then you moved to Hamilton. I did tell you about this. You did. Well. And then you moved to Hamilton and you finished off high school there. And then you went on to study music at university. So
who would do that?
Well, you got your jazz guitar degree, so
yeah, well,
it's amazing.
That was fun. It was a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah. But talk to us about that kind of time of your life a bit more, right? Because you had some ideas about going on to do music full time, right? So I can imagine that maybe success to you at that point looked like you maybe like being in a band or being a musician full time. And obviously now you're running this business and you still do music on the side. But
I'd like to do more.
Would the Sam then be surprised if he could see the Sam now? About,
Amy, you're like hitting these really good questions.
We're just diving right in.
Would the Sam then be surprised by the Sam now?
In terms of the way that you're living your life, you having set up the business.
Yeah, I think the Sam then, it's funny. This is a great question. So I would start by saying like, it's not that I wasn't business oriented back then. I think I was. I was working in hospitality. I was also like
mowing. This is at university, right?
Yeah, university. Yeah. I was mowing lawns. I was doing landscaping and tree work. I was also teaching, like teaching music. It was a good time. Like I was working with a community trust, like a youth center, and like I had like 3 jobs at once. It was hectic. But I think when I was working in hospitality back then, I definitely was still like in the frame of mind of like, are we making money today? Kind of thing. And like
that is really cool because I certainly wasn't thinking that in my student job.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, kind of that was like foreshadowing maybe you going on to do something like this. But
yeah, I think maybe but it was more subconscious. Like I wasn't like I need to think this way. I just was thinking that way, and I found myself asking questions like, how many staff are working, and what's the average cost of the coffee beans and the milk that we're using, and the food costs and the rent that, if the business didn't own, I didn't know that much. Like I didn't have an insight to that, but I found myself like going over those things in my mind and trying to work it out and being like, okay, well, we need X amount to break even, like for the staffing costs, for example. Right. I don't know, back then, I remember I called up my business partner now, Will, when I first got $20 an hour. And I was like, I got $20 an hour as a barista. And he was like, what? And he was on like $18 or something back here. and I was so stoked. But so back then the metrics were different.
Yeah.
Minimum wage now is like $23.70 or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would think about like what is the average wage cost? How many hours have I worked and how many people are on? What's the wage bill going to be? Weird though. So I guess going back to what I was saying is like I was geared that way in a way, subtly.
Were you interested in it, or did you just find yourself thinking that way? Like, honestly, where do you think that came from?
Yeah, I mean, I think like family members had been business owners, so I'd been around them. Honestly, my aspirations back then were to like be a session musician. I didn't even want to be an artist at that point. Like I didn't want to, like I wasn't really writing my own music. I was just kind of like studying jazz, wanted to be a jazz guitar player, like practice 6 hours a day kind of thing. And I was loving that, but yeah, I think I just saw myself, I think the version of me back then saw myself doing studio work, maybe touring with bands. I went on to do like playing music on the cruise ships, which was fun.
That's cool.
That was a great experience.
Yeah.
I definitely couldn't do that lifestyle now.
Yeah, it sounds hectic.
But to answer the question, in light of that person, that was me, I think I would be surprised. And I think the person of me, there's parts of myself now that would go back and like want to slap that person, Like,
why?
Well, I mean, like, it's so funny when you look back on things because hindsight is just so funny like that,
I know.
Right? You're like, what were you up to?
Yeah.
If you had have just bought Bitcoin back when was that? Like let's say 2015?
Yeah.
You'd be a millionaire now, Sam, and like you wouldn't even have to like make bagels or coffee, but you probably still would, maybe.
But would you be happy?
Exactly. Well, that's the question, eh? That's the question. We always used to like, me and all my buddies from back in that time, we always talk about this, as I'm sure many other people do.
Well, at least you're not the dude that bought it all and then forgot his password. It could be worse.
That's a thing, yeah. There's a guy out there who's got like, yeah.
Or it was like on a hard drive or something, and anyway, the password was on the hard drive. He chucked it in the bin, and anyway.
Then doesn't he have like? There's another guy out there who's got like one more attempt at his like key for the crypto thing, and like he hasn't done it because imagine that he's got like I don't know, like $100 million in there or something. That'd be nice.
See, it could be worse. Could be worse. But that's really interesting. Okay, so Sam then would be surprised to some degree.
I'd be surprised. Yeah, because that was the question. I would be surprised, but I'm not sure that the Sam then can comment, but the Sam now can probably say something along the lines of, I'd be surprised, but I wouldn't be able to speak to the things that I now know.
I know what you mean. You needed the...
Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I know where you're going. You I don't know how to articulate it, but it's like, yeah. But my other question is, would he be proud? I know that's quite a hard one to answer, but because this is what we're going to get into hopefully in the conversation, which is great. Like, you've obviously achieved great things. You are running a really successful small business that has a great reputation. The staff all seem really happy. You walk in here and the buzz is good.
Bribe them on the side. No, I'm kidding.
But it's, you're doing so well in this area. So, but it's the whole thing about maybe you don't know how far you've come because you keep moving your bar. And so we'll get into that, I think, later down the line in the conversation. But I think what's really interesting to me anyway, and what a lot of people will find interesting listening, is about what your life felt like. So coming out of university, maybe still considering becoming a musician, and then how it changed and what your life felt like when the idea for Little Guy was born, and how you felt in that time of your life where you and Will presumably had a key conversation where you discussed setting this up. And when you realized that it was something really cool that was actually going to come to fruition. So could you tell us more about that stage of your life and what it looked like to you? Did you feel any imposter syndrome at the time? Like, how did you have to adapt at that stage of your life when you were setting up the business?
That was a funny time. That was a really interesting time of life. I lived actually, it was like, I had the lease of the house literally across the road from here. It's like a cool little cottage. Well, I met Will. So I came down, a little bit of backstory.
Yeah.
I came down here from Auckland.
Okay.
Broke up with my girlfriend. She went to Europe.
Oh.
I was like, I need a change.
Yeah.
My auntie offered me a music teaching role here.
Oh, yeah.
I had this beat up Honda Accord. No, what was it? Honda Ascot. It's like this weird 5-cylinder automatic thing. I never knew what gear it wanted to be in. I had it was full to the brim. I had these soft roof racks tied around that went through the cabin of the car.
Yeah.
And I had stuff on there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had $30 to my name at the time, and I busted up my hand. So it was on the health benefit. We talked about that earlier before we started tonight. And anyway, so I was like, I'm gonna go try find a flat in the Mount. So I had got wind of this one, and I turned up. It's funny, they had a guitar there, so I just played them a song. And then that was kind of broke the ice enough to where they were like, this guy's normal,
nice.
so we'll let him live here. So I did that. And then it was weird. The next day I came by and I saw this cafe, this building.
The next day that you got to the Mount,
yeah,
so
day. After I'd gone and checked the flat out, I saw this place, and it was called the Octopus's Garden, named after a Beatles song, apparently. I'm not a big Beatles fan. I like them, but I wasn't an avid listener of them.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so I rocked on in, had my CV, and I was like, oh, hey, you guys looking for staff? Because I was working in hospitality in Auckland.
Yeah. So was it a coffee shop too?
It was a coffee shop,
oh, yeah.
And I ended up working, making some coffee for them, and then I ended up working a shift that day.
Yeah.
And then I got a job here.
Yeah.
And then I was here for 6 to 8 months, living there, and then that was an interesting time. But I met Will literally the first night I moved into that flat.
Oh my gosh, it was all happening in the first couple of days, just bam, bam, bam.
Just bam, bam, bam. Yeah. And then, so I met him at a flat warming, and we just got talking about I found out he was a barista, and then we just kind of hit it off. And then we would hang out, we would make, actually we wouldn't so the funniest thing is that we weren't the coffee scene here wasn't great. So we would go to a cafe, buy coffee beans, and take it back to his place where he had a Sunbeam Cafe Series home espresso machine.
Nice.
And we'd make our own coffees.
When was this?
It was must have been 2018.
Oh yeah.
And then maybe late 2017. And then we just talk about we would pretty much just sit there and talk crap about hospo and the quality here and things like that. And what we what we wanted for hospitality, what we would do kind of thing. And so that kind of continued and eventuated. And then we were at we went to Mount Hopples, we're let's go for a soak. And we just talked about it, and we're maybe that's when the idea came up.
Oh, really? That in the hot pools?
Isn't it funny? You're sitting in a hot tub and you're just
yeah.
The mind starts going.
There's a moment, isn't there, where it actually just sparks and you're like, oh,
yeah.
Are we going to do this,
Yeah, so we were just
that was it.
We kind of just I think value, so where we were in life, our values aligned, and I think that's super important with whatever relationship you're in, business, romantic, platonic friendship. But we kind of talked about it.
So it was a marriage of, I guess, realizing that your values aligned, and also you could see that there was a gap in the Mount for...
Yeah, well, Will was he went to New York when he was younger with his family, and he kind of loved the bagel culture there.
Right.
So the bagels was always his thing.
Yeah.
And he was working in like developing this recipe, you know, and he was like sharing it with his flatmates. His flatmates were American.
Oh.
So I guess he had some good input there. Like he was refining it and getting it right. He was managing a cafe over in Otamotai. And then he was making bagels there and like selling them to people.
Yeah.
So
That's
he
cool.
wanted to like run the bagel thing. And then I was like, cool, like I love coffee. I'm a barista, super into it.
Yeah.
I feel like I at least have some business sense or an idea. But it's funny, if I looked at if I was to talk to that version of me now, I'd be like, yeah, you know, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Not sure you know what you're doing. But that's just it, you know, like.
But you need the confidence, right, at that stage to be like, I know that I can go on and do this, even if you know that you're not that person currently.
Well, the thing is, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Like the version of me then was like, yeah, I'm like, maybe there was some like bravado and like ego and like some confidence that was just like, I don't know, like I was mid to late 20s. Like, what did I really know?
Yeah.
I had an idea though. Like it wasn't like I was just like flailing around.
No.
But I think there was definitely an enthusiasm of like, let's go after this.
Let's go.
And that's something, you know, I think.
Oh, it's so much.
Just having I think passion is so critical. Like if you're not really passionate about something, like if your goal is to just go and make money, you don't have to be passionate about it. Like about the thing that you're doing. You just need to have a clinical mindset of like, well, 1 + 1 is 2. And if I do these things, I can make money.
Yeah.
But like creating something like a brand or something that has identity.
Yeah.
I think you're in a better position if you have passion, like if you're passionate about that thing before 100%. You go into it.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So I at least had passion, and I was like, yeah, I'm ready to like tackle this.
Why did you have passion? Like, where did it come from?
I think like music was my thing, right? So it was my main bag, we call it.
Yeah. My
main thing. I think that in life, to the degree that you can be, like what you're interested in, it's not necessarily the thing, like it's the you that's interested in the thing. So that's what brings the energy, right? So like you can apply it to anything. Like it could be like, if I wanted to tomorrow, I could like, I don't know, what's an example? I could go out and learn to play the piano accordion because I think it's like, I think it's a cool instrument. I haven't done that, but I could apply the same passion that I used to maybe study guitar or whatever it is to do that.
Yeah.
So I think like the charisma of, or the charismatic parts of me were like, I could be keen to give this a shot.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, like, I mean, Will, like, he struck me as like a really confident kind of guy. He definitely like had a lot of skill in what he was doing. So there's that too, you know, like confidence.
Yeah.
And like doing something on your own versus doing something with somebody else, I think there's something in that,
100%.
Definitely adds like a layer of like maybe, you know, like, you know, that you don't have to just purely rely on yourself.
Yeah. That's cool.
So that kind of like, if that frames that in a way.
So from that conversation, how quickly did you start getting the show on the road?
I think that, well, to my memory, I think we started looking for like, I think we were keeping our eyes open for like potential sites for lease, you know, like where would we do this? It's so funny because when I was working here, Will used to come in all the time.
Right.
And the owner at the time, like him and I had a few like little run-ins and stuff. He was going through a bunch of stuff. He wasn't super happy.
Yeah.
We won't go into it too much, but Will used to come in and he like he told me, he's like, I came in one day, Sam, and I just had this feeling come over me that like one day we're gonna run a cafe here.
Oh, that's crazy.
I know, right? I know, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But interesting that I was working in it, and then I ended up like parting ways from that job. Things didn't go down well. I had a run-in with the employer, and I think most of it was just down to stress on, you know, like there was relationship stuff going on, and I probably didn't handle things perfectly myself either. But it was super crazy when it came full circle to being back in here. That was weird. I was a little bit creeped out by that.
Yeah,
so,
that's nuts.
Detail on that though is that I had just come back from like a cruise ship contract, in the South Pacific. It was just like Pacific Islands.
Yeah.
Just came back to Auckland, and Will rings me and he's like, "You'll never believe what's up for lease." And he was like, "It's the Octopus Garden site." And I was like, "No way." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna put a bid on it,
That's
to try and get it." And then
we're in 2018 here, aren't we?
20 yeah.
Yeah, into 2019. Wow.
It might have been 2019. The start though.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, that was like intuition? For me, that was like, I was like, look, it's New Zealand. There's only so many places, but still.
I know.
I was like, that's kind of crazy, like coincidental in a way.
Yeah. What's interesting to me is like you went from that person who didn't have any substantive, I guess, business experience, right? You had all the passion and all the confidence and the drive and everything. But like to go from that Sam, and then you're setting up a small business and you have a business partner now and you're hiring people and investing money, like how did that feel? And did you feel that you were onto something at that stage, or was it just a case of like blindly just going for it? Because then right, you go from this version to a completely different version, like a business owner, in quite quick succession.
Yeah, that was like, I think for both of us, it was like quite a surprise. Well, I mean, truthfully, like that time of my life was super turbulent. Like I did not have it together. But I was like, I was super stoked and super keen on the idea. I just wanted to run with it. You know, I was still trying to like sort my personal world out. I wasn't doing too well, but like, I don't know. I think I didn't feel threatened by being a business owner. Like I actually felt really confident from the like, let's say like HR perspective, like dealing with other people.
You're a people person.
Yeah, like I like that, you know, and I had an idea around systems and like, I'd learned a lot from places that I'd worked in Auckland. I worked at one place, a cafe called Crave, and it's like a collective. So super cool entity. They are like non-for-profit in a way. They give back to the community a lot, but cool. Like massive, like the cafe is like, how do I say this? So it was like quite a big establishment, and like they had their systems like really worked out. So I got to learn a lot from that, watching how things, you know, the days operated, the structures and the SOPs, like, you know, that they had in place. So I had like
a good
quite
amount
a lot
of
to draw from.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can do that.
Yeah.
You know, I've been doing it as an employee. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of difference.
Okay.
But at the time, I was like, what's the difference? You know, let's dive on in. And there was,
but that's necessary, right? Otherwise, you can start to overthink and doubt yourself.
No one's ever gonna like. For me, it doesn't matter if you've gone and studied business and management. If you've like really you could have a PhD in it, but unless you're like
done it
on the ground running and like living the dynamic side of that, which is like, okay, so in theory, this is how you do things, but in the real world, there's like human emotion. Like you can learn about that, but it's different when you're sitting next to the person that's like come to work and they're a mess and they're falling apart.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so
what do we do here? Yeah.
And I guess you can just like kind of fall back on like, well, hopefully I've learned to navigate those kind of situations myself, and also learned to navigate that with other people in my life. So yeah, I guess I was kind of like excited about that because I felt confident in those places in terms of people.
Yeah.
You know.
And when you said that your values aligned with Will's, what are your values and how did they align? Because I also think that they're just so having strong values as a person, but also just like as a business owner, as an employee, just having a strong value system in general is just so important. And I think as much as we can all have our different values and we can all go around saying we have them, right? Reflecting on them and really living by them is a whole different thing. So what were your values at that time? And how did you let them guide you when you were setting up the business?
I mean, I think values are one of those things that are like, you can talk about them all day, but they're really what you live out. I think a lot of the glue was really like the things that we saw that were happening inside of the industry that we weren't really fond of.
Yeah.
How would we do that differently? Like, we aligned on those things. Okay, I'll give you an example. Let's get stressed and frustrated and like take it out on the staff because we're not busy. That's something.
Yeah. Right. So you were seeing that happening a lot?
I mean, me and Will had experienced that.
Yeah.
Another thing could be, let's micromanage. You know, let's employ someone that like clearly has the skill set to do the job, and then let's control every element,
right,
and stage in that process.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I want to hire someone that's competent. Now, as a business owner, I'm like, I want to hire someone that's competent, and I want to empower them to do the things that they do great.
Yeah.
Like, my role as a director, and like that role's like multifaceted, but there's so many things that it involves. We don't have a manager here at Little Guy. So like, Will and myself manage it currently.
Right.
But I'm like, but my job is really to like, maybe it's helping staff upskill in a certain area. Oftentimes staff are teaching us things. You know, that's the reality.
Yeah.
But how do I enable you and help you to do the things that you're doing even better than you're already doing them? Because ultimately, like, you're building, you're building the person, but in turn they're building your business. So there's a synergy in that that's like quite nice, and it's neither selfish or you're not doing it out of the place of like, you're not thinking, oh yeah, I want to make more money out of you. You're doing it from the place of like, no, you're just, I think to do hospitality, you need to be passionate about people.
Yeah.
I think you can really talk about all the peripherals and like you can get into the semantics of it.
Yeah.
But like, if you're not passionate about people, you should probably not be in this industry.
Yeah.
To be hospitable to somebody.
Yeah.
Like, it's in the definition, right?
It's true.
And I think like, actually I printed out the definition, the Oxford University definition or whatever, dictionary, sorry, of hospitality, and I put it up above the door panel out there where they walk into the kitchen. It got pulled down. Someone didn't like it.
What?
But I was like...
Why? What is the definition?
Well, I would need to look that up. But it said something along the lines of, like, how would I say it? To summarize, it might be something like to, I don't know, provide a welcoming experience and to assist and be warm and
provide
to,
a service.
Yeah, I'm not doing a good job of that.
Well,
but I can't remember, but you know what I mean?
Thingy it.
But the point was, I really messed that up. But the point was, because there was a point in this.
Yes.
The point was, let's just like reframe and remind ourselves of like the industry we're in before we walk out to serve a customer.
Right.
Because like that's going to really frame it all. Otherwise,
and you can feel that energy. That's what I'm talking about. Like every time I come in to Little Guy as well, you can feel it from the staff, from the customers. It feeds into the energy in the space, right? And so, because I worked
that's cool.
as a waitress in an Italian restaurant in Glasgow when I was like 16, 17. And it was hectic. It was awful. Like, I'm not going to say which one I had, but we were all so stressed. We were being barked at, like disrespected. And like I heard from other people that customers could feel that. Well, they could see it, first of all, but they could feel it in the space. It was tense. Like all of that creates the atmosphere.
Translates, eh?
Right. And so you can actually,
it almost screams.
Yeah. Obviously, like, work can get really stressful sometimes, like, everyone knows that. But I think you seem really mindful about creating a really good working culture because you care, right?
Yeah, I care. I think, no, I do still care.
Yeah, you're like, do I care?
I'm just really tired, you know.
Yeah.
If I look past that, I definitely still care.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
No, that's cool that you noticed that. And I think, like, to the point, though, it's like sometimes we get so, like, caught up in there's layers, like, there's small details and then there's, like, the main thing that we're doing. Sometimes we, like, forget the essence of what this industry is about. Oh, that customer's annoying. That customer's a bitch. Excuse my French. Or, like, that guy's just a moron, you know? Like, they don't even know how to order their coffee properly. Like, and just, like, to be completely, like, a little bit more transparent, it's like, in any line of work that you're in, you're interacting with people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're a lawyer or you collect the rubbish from the curbside. Like, there are going to be people that and instances that you experience where you're like, man, like, that guy just completely ruined my morning.
Right.
Like, in hospitality, you know, people come in and it's easy, like, you know, it's easy to be frustrated. Somebody's having a bad day. They come in, they take it out on you, but you just happen to be there, but you're just there to, like, make them a coffee, you know, their large trim, extra hot, flat white with 3 sweeteners or, you know, and maybe a caramel shot as well. Nowadays, it's like matcha is super trending. I don't personally like matcha. I mean,
I love a matcha. No.
I like it if it's sweetened. I can drink it, but it's not my go-to.
Yeah, it's taken me a while.
But what I'm saying is, like, definitely, like, that's a thing. Like, people, like, that can be one of the most taxing parts of being in this industry. Yeah. Like, the person walking in the door, they don't care. Like, they don't care if you've had a bad day. They're not there to hear from you. Like, they're there to, like, they step foot into your establishment because they want to break from the 9 to 5. Like, the hospitality scene is like the third space. There's work, there's home, and then there's the third space, which is us. So they're coming to be like, you know, I want to, I think product is important. I think you need to serve, like, a good product, and there needs to be an emphasis on quality. But I think that the experience and the feeling is, like, definitely a major factor to that. Like, how do I feel when I set foot into Little Guy? Yeah. That's something that I wanted to capture and, like, focus, like, really hone in on that, because, like, if I was, like, let's say I'm an engineer and I've showed up to the office at 7 a.m. I've had this big meeting about, like, all these numbers and trigonometry, and we've got to work out the load capacity of this beam that we're putting in this new high-rise building. And I'm like, it's time for a coffee. What am I actually, like, what am I seeking reprieve from, even if it's at the subconscious level?
It's a very good question.
So I dive into that and I go, well, what's the psychology of what a business like this can provide to people? But on the other side, from the staffing side and working that, it's like sometimes you just get the raw end of the stick from the individual. It's not personal.
It's not.
The only way that you can truly, like, have longevity and actually, like, sustain yourself in this industry is by loving people. Yeah. And knowing yourself enough to be able to just, like, push things aside. Yeah. Honestly, Amy, sometimes there are situations where it's just, like, too far. Yeah, I know. And, like, you're just, like, biting your tongue. You're like, you're right. You're ready to just, like, let loose on a customer. Yeah. And it happens sometimes.
But there's a line where it's like you don't want to let somebody disrespect you. But I do find that, because now that I'm back in working in retail, I find that obviously everyone's got their own story. Everyone, you know, people have bad days. If somebody is rude, which actually is pretty rare, but if somebody is rude, if you see it like this, like rude, I could respond rudely back, and then we move this way. Whereas if somebody's rude to me, I always try and be nice, but it's
how rude though?
Well, even if they're super, super rude, I'll respond respectfully and nicely. And I'll normally give someone like 2 or 3 chances. And then if I can see somebody's just trying to like have it out at me, I'll be like, okay, well.
What's the line for you though? If I can ask the question, like, has there been an instance? Because I think this would draw back into like what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
But like, has there been an instance for you inside of like, working retail where that like you've got your thing, right? Your mantra, has that been challenged? Like, has somebody been like pushed you over that line where you're just like ready to slap them?
No, honestly, I find that because if you are, say you come into a coffee shop and you are being rude to the barista because you're having a really bad day, a lot of the time that person's just hurting, like something's going on, they're not happy. And so then if the barista were to respond in a rude manner, that's just gonna.
What if
actually?
Sorry, could you?
No. But it's like if then they receive warmth and kindness from that person, that's what I find. It's like if you give warmth and kindness back, despite the person being rude, if you do that a few times, 9 times out of 10, that person relaxes and you end up having a pretty good, I don't know, that's just my experience. It is hard though sometimes, but I get what you mean. That's hard in hospital. Yeah.
We could just like normalize like going up and giving customers hugs.
Yeah.
But I think that'd be nice. Like,
I
mean, not everyone's going to be like welcoming of it, but
no.
if you had like a way to like a metric to like look at that and be like, you need a hug today.
Do you know what I'm thinking about? It's like one of my favorite movies about time. Have you seen it? Rachel McAdams.
About Time?
About Time, the movie.
It's not like the...
Not The Time Traveler's Wife.
No, what's that other movie about time? It's got like Justin Timberlake.
Timberlake.
Yeah, we were singing a JT song
We
before.
were.
That's not that one.
I can't remember. No, it's not that. It's the other one. Anyway, It's a fantastic movie, but I won't spoil it. But there is a scene at the end of the movie where there's like 2 shots where he gets coffee and isn't looking at the barista and is like having a bit of a bad day and just rushing through life and
right.
It's like a nothing interaction, and then there's another shot of him going back in with the intention of bringing in positive energy, looking at them in the eye, speaking to them, and just you can see the difference that even that small interaction can have on your day, on the barista's day, on your day, and I love that because it's
massive, eh?
It's massive.
Yeah.
It's massive. Anyway, we digress.
No, but I think that's like, it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
Like there's like a satisfaction inside of the role of hospitality, like whether you in the cook line or you are a maitre d' or you are like just like making coffees for people. There's a satisfaction in like being able to be intentional with the people. There's like a term called code switching. Okay, this is interesting. I think this would be fun to talk about. So a good friend of mine, Jesse, he's a personal trainer, the gym just up the road, and we've become really good friends. He's just like, he was training me, and like I decided I need to get like back into that thing and like look after myself. And anyway, we became really good friends. He's into philosophy and like he's into deep chats, and much like yourself, Amy. But like he came in one time and he was watching me at the till and he said like, oh, he's like, that's some really good code switching there. And I was like, huh? I kind of knew what he meant, but I asked him to like elaborate on that point, and he was like, yeah, like one customer comes in and you're like a certain way, and then another customer comes in and you're like almost the way that you're responding and like interacting with them is completely different. And it's kind of this idea of like emotional intelligence, like getting a read on people. Like, okay, here's an example. This is quite fun. So I would say at like a 90% success rate.
Yeah.
Not to like toot my own horn here, but I can usually tell if a customer's going to take away what I have here. Like before I've spoken to them, because it's a body language thing.
Right.
Like the posturing of a person that wants to come and sit in versus the posturing of a person that wants to take away. It's completely different. But the subconscious sees it, right? So like that's one way of like, that's one thing that code switching could be. Like you kind of already know that they're kind of wanting that. So the way you interact with them is you match it.
Because you would maybe like piss them off if you were trying to have a chat and the guy's like,
and he just wants to go.
Yeah.
He's like, I just want my coffee. I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
I've had a bad morning. Like, I'm in the dog box.
Yeah.
My wife's like, I slept on the couch last night. Like whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's like you get to learn that a lot. I think that like it's almost like you have like a minor in anthropology, working in a situation where you're like meeting like maybe it's 80 different people on a daily basis. Trying to remember their names is one thing, but like understanding like how they want to like, because one of the really rewarding things in this industry is like building rapport and having like relationship with people.
Yeah.
It might be the most simple thing. Like I've got a customer, Rob. He's been coming here since day dot. He was a farmer. He loves fishing. He owns a storage company down in Papamoa. He has a large latte and a keep cup with 1 sugar. I know that. But like, I get to have great conversations with this guy. With him, I talk about fishing and sometimes I talk about business.
Yeah.
In fact, I've learned so much from him about business. And so that's one thing. And then with other people, it might be like real estate, or it might be like someone that works in video, like Jack, from All Shots. And didn't mean to do the shout out, but low key the shout out. But like, it doesn't matter. Like, getting to talk about like the creative space and media. I find that sows into me a lot as a person. Yeah. So like, I'm the recipient as much as I'm like providing a service. Yeah. It's not just like I think being passionate about people is the highlight. And those instances that I get to be a part of, I think those are the things that attract me to being in this industry the most.
Yeah.
And networking is crazy cool. Like the people that I've met in positions and like how that, it's been beneficial to like both parties, that's cool. Like I could never have dreamed of meeting the people that I've met if it wasn't for this industry. Yeah. Like.
And also just having the open energy, right, that you do.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I mean, like if you know how to like the code switching thing, if you know how to like react or like treat somebody, they're way more likely to like want to like spend time and like have that conversation. Maybe the first convo is a little bit awkward. Yeah. Then the next one, you just like, and before you know it, you're like talking for 10 minutes and the customer behind them is waiting and you're like, I need to take their order.
That's me.
That thing.
When I was a bartender and I was like 2021, there'd be like queues of people behind me. So I was just like,
they can wait.
Well, also, my brother once gave me this advice and it stayed with me ever since. It's like, with a stranger, your first interaction, if you start with them up here, then you don't need to spend all the time working up to it. So not to put pressure on it, but the first interaction is a key one, because if you have open energy and you take interest and you give them kindness and you just have that interaction first. That's with them.
Cool. I like that.
It stayed with me ever since. Thank you, Matt Hammond. Because then say I'm closed off and I don't want to talk to them and I just don't have any interest, then the next time I see them, it's probably going to match that. And then the next time, whereas if you have that first key interaction, then you don't need to spend all the time working up. You can just start from here and build up.
You built there, right?
Yeah.
And then on the other side of that,
I love that.
It's almost like more of a thing when you go down into the, like you can go the other way and it could be like, maybe your energy's here, maybe you take it here. And I think that we all love vulnerability. Mm-hmm. Like even like doing a podcast like this, there's elements of this that are super vulnerable. But it's like, okay, I like this term, the distance between. I've thought about this. I still haven't quite quantified it or come up with like there's no ontology with this. It's more like I've coined or fashioned a term that I kind of live by. Yeah. But like the distance between two things. And inside of that place is like, there's a sweet spot, but it's like, it's the thing.
Jack, this is literally, sorry, I'm breaking the fourth wall. This was what the podcast was originally going to be about. Right. It basically still is. Sorry, I'm totally breaking the fourth wall right now.
That's all right.
I'm fascinated by the sweet spot of extremes, right? So like for example, when it comes to business, like what is the balance between working really hard and working 90-hour weeks like you're doing and really just going after it and just getting your head down and focusing to achieve a certain thing with, like, if you did that for years on end and you sacrificed your version of happiness to get to that point, like what was it all for then? Like, where is the balance between, or like self-development, where's the balance between being grateful for what you've got now and realizing you have everything you could possibly need to be happy
I like it.
with striving for more and for more abundance and like a higher version of yourself? Like, where is that? Where is the distance between?
The distance between. I think you've kind of like fleshed it out in a way. Like, let's say you have an ideal, right? You've got an ideal. It's almost like a judge. Like, the ideal is looking back at what you're doing and you're measuring what you're doing against the ideal. So the ideal is like almost like it's appointed and unappointed. You've appointed it because you set the ideal. But it's not that it's like you don't have to reach it unless you're that way inclined. Unless you're like, no, I have to do this. But you're setting your focus on something. You're setting your sights on a target of like, I want to get there. Maybe it's something like, today, I want to give every customer the same level of energy. I want to treat everyone equally.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who they are. Doesn't matter if they're the guy that I have great chats with, or they're for some people, maybe they're the cute girl that comes in. Or maybe they're like, maybe they're an auntie or a grandma, or maybe they're like, maybe they don't dress, like the same way as you, or like the people in the clique,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm a part of a clique, but I think we all
we
all have our things, right? But like, the point is like, that could be a goal, that could be an ideal, and but at least you've set something. Yeah. So like the distance between is like it's not in the actual thing, and I don't want to speak cliches. It's easy to go to cliches. I find it hard to sometimes articulate things without going there. But like it's in the wrestle. Like, I think that's a way of putting that. Yeah. The wrestle is in the place of starting and getting there. So there's 2 points. And so like in that, the contention is like where it's at. Yeah. Like at least you're contending with reality in the place of contention.
Yeah. No, I totally get you.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's probably why you still have the passion to keep going, right? Because you were talking earlier about the fact that you love the moments where you feel out of your depth and you're struggling and you're like, well, is it right? Versus just wanting to get to a certain destination to make money or feel successful, or, do you know, like the A to B, which actually is just like life in general. It's like we're born and we die. Yeah. And it's like, true. I think it's such a useful exercise to really just try as much as you can to reflect on like, I'm in this day, I'm in this moment, like what do I have to be grateful for, and just enjoy it. Because I kind of mentioned on the first episode with qualifying as a lawyer, it's always like, well, I need to get through first year, second year, third year, fourth year. Okay, I've done it. Okay, then now I've got my diploma. Okay, I've done it. Oh, but I need to get a training contract. Okay, I'll do that, and then I'll be like so happy, and then I get that. Oh, but then I'm qualified. Now I'm a junior lawyer, and now I need to work up to, and it, for me anyway, it felt like I could never really just enjoy that journey. Are you
kind of talking about like living in the present?
Yeah, I think so.
Like the whole thing of like, this is my goal, but then just actually just enjoying the process of it.
It's very hard to do though, right?
Oh, it is. Like this morning I was like shaping bagels at like 4:30 a.m. I honestly I do that. I'm like, why am I making circular bread? And who even thought about this? It's a Jewish thing. I know that much. But this is always like Will's thing, and he was passionate about the bread side of the business. But then it's funny because like I had a conversation this morning with a customer, and I was like, no, it's really meditative, and it teaches me a lot.
Yeah.
One, the discipline of getting up early. Bread doesn't really like operate to your schedule. It just does its own thing, especially with sourdough, right? And you can do things to manipulate it and to like try to coerce it to where you want it, but at the end of the day, it's going to do its thing.
Yeah.
So there's an element of discipline.
Yeah.
Just also like the whole process of it all. It's actually super relaxing. And being up at that hour is like, there's something quite special about it. It's super quiet. There's no cars on the road. You're just there with your thoughts and you're baking bread. It's simple and it's nice. But I had a conversation with a customer and I was talking about, you know, the fact that I was like, sometimes I ask myself, I'm in the process. So I'm in the present moment of doing what I'm doing. And I say, what am I doing? How did I end up here? You know, like not to get super philosophical, but I'm like, well, I'm here now. So how does it feel? What am I learning? What are the inputs?
Yeah.
I mean, what am I taking from this right now? And as I, you know, mentioned earlier, it's like, well, there's so many things that you learn from. And but people take a bite out of the bagel. One guy said to me, so he took a bite out of the dark chocolate sea salt bagel.
Oh,
and he said,
so good.
I said, how's the bagel? He's like, I loved the salty, sweet surprise. And I was like, that was a great alliteration. He didn't even, he wasn't like, maybe you'd thought up of that. I don't know.
It's a simple thing.
The salty, sweet surprise. And I was like, that's really cool. I could call a bagel that. It's the
salty,
name of a bagel.
Sweet surprise. There you go. There's your next bagel.
Yeah, it could be though, right?
The special. Yeah.
So it's funny. It all translates. It's nice to see people enjoying things.
It is. It is.
It's nice to receive gifts, but it's way better to give gifts.
And to just have an impact on your community, right? Because every interaction that you have with someone is having some sort of impact on them, right?
Even if it's just
when you
as
have a
simple as
space like this, yeah.
Like I thought the other day, I was like, the simple fact of like you are consistent. Like they know that, I don't know, they know that they're going to drive down Maunganui Road and that little guy's going to be open. Yeah. Sometimes we close, but there are things that get in the way. Like there are some things we can't control. But for the most part, we're open 7 days a week. Yeah. Monday to Friday, 7 till 2. Yeah. And Saturday, Sunday, 8 till 2. So people know that they're like, oh, I can go there. It's consistent. Yeah. You know? And there's something about that. And like, that's one thing you can be for people. That's the bare minimum. But then you can be a whole lot more. You can build relationships. You can get to know people. You can be a part of their routine. Yeah. Sometimes you end up being a counselor behind the coffee machine. You know, like you're struggling to hear them because like there's people 100%. Talking and like, yeah. I've had crazy conversations with people over the years. I can imagine. I remember I got into this conversation with this one lady who was like talking to me about her divorce and the fact that she was on this medication and like it can get pretty heavy. Yeah. And you're like, when did I become a counselor?
I know, but people need it. People need it in this day and age, right? They do.
But there's something that's really disarming. Like, you know, it's the barista. It's almost become like this commonality. It's common parlance that you talk to your barista. That's the thing you do. So, like, it's non-threatening. Yeah. This person knows they know how I like my coffee. Yeah. So at least they got that right. Maybe I can trust them with something else. I can trust them to heat the milk to 62 degrees. And, you know, they made me a flat white, not a cappuccino. Right? So, yeah. That was a reference to milk steaming. Which a lot of cafes still make cappuccinos, and it's supposed to be a flat white, but no shade casted. No names.
Not a little guy.
Not here.
Sam.
Yes.
What are some common misconceptions that you have found that people have about what it takes to run a small business? Because in our we had a conversation before this episode last week about how you have kind of found that a lot of people think that it's way flashier than it is. And actually, like, there's so much that goes into it. I mean, you told me earlier you've worked already 65 hours this week or something since Sunday.
Yeah, it's definitely not a badge of honor.
Not all glamorous. No, I know.
But
we're not glamorizing burnout culture here.
No,
but
absolutely not.
No. But it's like that's the point. It's like there's so much that goes into it. And I want to also now touch on like what are there compromises that you have to make day to day to keep this running, to keep your lifestyle going in the way that it is. And what are some common misconceptions that you find that people have about that?
I think like in terms of misconceptions, really comes down to like what do people understand? I mean, if people have no understanding of an industry, then they would have no idea at the first thing of what it takes to run it. I mean, maybe they think like you're just here making a coffee. To them, that's what you're doing. They're like, what's so hard about that? Why are you stressed out? You know, like, and sometimes I feel that. The customer comes in, they're like,
oh, really?
Well, sometimes. Like, they don't know what you've done in the time leading up, but they're like, you're in a building, you make me a coffee, you make me a bagel, that's it. I mean, business ownership, in terms of that, it's like, well, it really comes down to how you set your business up. I mean, for me, a reflection point would be, well, okay, I've worked 65 hours this week. Well, I mean, that's my fault. Like, I'm the director. I direct the course of action and the way that the business operates. And there are other factors that, you know, have impact on that. It might be, for a lot of small business owners, I know I'm deviating, but I will come back. For a lot of small business owners, it's like, well, I want to save cost. So if I do the work, I don't have to pay someone. So therefore, like, that sort of helps with cash flow and bottom line and things like that. But you always pay for it. It doesn't matter if it's financially or if it's with your well-being or whatever it might be. I think that the lesson is like, well, I'm directing the way this business works. So if I've worked 60 hours already this week, it means that I haven't put things I haven't directed the intention of like how the business should run. I think that's the point. Misconceptions could be as simple as you just make coffee and serve bagels. But they don't understand like the work that goes into that and the preparation and the managing of staff and managing accounts, cash flow, even just something like as simple as like your mental capacity for the conversations that you're having with people. Because honestly, like some days I'm like, I don't know if I can like, I don't know, and this is no shade to New Zealanders, but it kind of is. I don't know if I can handle somebody talking about the weather one more flipping time. Like,
you think that's bad? I'm from the UK.
Oh, is it worse there?
Yeah. But carry on.
It can't be worse than here. But like that's an example, right?
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
But if
you're having the same conversation.
Yeah, you hear that 30 times in a day.
Right.
Right? And you're already like, you haven't had a good sleep and like you had a fight with your girlfriend maybe, or like, you know, you ate something, then you feel horrible in your stomach. Like it could be so simple, like whatever it is. And you just listen to this one thing and it like almost throws you over the edge. It's like there's those elements, but that's like inside of it, right? It's not fair to expect that people would, because to the customer, they're the first person. To the customer in their mind, they're the first person you've seen today.
Yeah.
They haven't, unless they work the industry or unless they are very emotionally aware and have that sort of like purview. Yeah. They're not going to be thinking, this guy's spoken to 100 people. They're thinking, I'm here. Hello. Which is great. It's really nice to see you, by the way. And we want to serve you and like we really want you to have a great time here. That is literally the ethos. Like we want you to feel welcome. We want you to feel at home. We want you to feel a part of the furniture, like you want to come back, because we love to get to know the people in the community. Also, we love getting to know people from out of town. Doesn't matter. But it's like those kind of little nuances that people might overlook. And it's not even like I've got a small violin in my hand and there's a sob story. It's not that. It's just like things add up. They compound. There are things that are just there.
Yeah.
Like in any job.
Yeah.
Anyone who's worked in something, they have inside knowledge and they do it on a day-to-day basis. They're going to have things that are hard, like, and that I wouldn't understand necessarily, like about a law firm. So does that answer the question?
Yeah, it does. It does perfectly.
Yeah.
And
the cost of goods right now are terrible.
Oh my gosh.
Butter, milk.
But New Zealand, like the food prices here.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's nuts.
We need to charge more. I think that hospitality has done itself a disservice. Does it, like when people, we had this conversation the other day, Amy, in passing. Do people bat an eyelid when they're out of the bar and they pay $12 for a bottled Heineken?
I know.
But you put your price from like $6 for a flat white to $6.50. All of a sudden, like, you did what?
Yeah. I know.
And like, obviously I'm speaking from like a biased place. But
yeah, it's tough
I can still speak from the customer. Like, I know when I go to, like, if I'm out of town or I'm on holiday or if I'm just traveling or I'm not at work, I'm happy to pay. Like, if it's good coffee and it's a nice environment, I'm happy to pay, like, a little bit more.
Yeah. It's crazy times.
Anyway.
That was one of my biggest surprises moving here is in the supermarket. I was like, what? It's crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway. On success versus happiness, have you found, well, I guess I'll ask it in the past tense. Have you found that you've had to sacrifice your version of happiness along the way a lot to get to where you are now? Because I'm very interested in the conflation of those two things.
I see. How I sacrificed my version of happiness. Well, I guess the question I'd have to ask myself would be what did I see my life as being happy? Like, what did that look like? Could you just ask that one more time?
Have you had to sacrifice your version of happiness along the way to get this version of success?
Yes.
Yeah.
In short. Yeah, I think I have. But then that's funny because I've also learned that, like, my ideals weren't conducive to reality. So they weren't actually, like, true markers they weren't, like, accurate reflections of what could be possible. I mean, we live in a universe with, like, infinite possibilities, right?
That's
so
true.
Maybe it could be. But from experience and what I've observed, that you could think that your life's going to look this way. But, like, until you're in it and living the day-to-day, maybe...
Just in terms, like, say with music, right? You can't play as much music now because you're running the business and you're working.
Yeah, I always thought I could do both. I thought I could do both, and I thought I could do them really well. But it's
like, that is a very deep question because what is happiness? But I do think that a lot of people do conflate the idea of, like, success and happiness and how they're basically, it's like we sacrifice our happiness to achieve success because we think it's going to make us happy.
Well, I would say,
Sometimes?
I answered yes. I would say that, like, the idea of what I thought my life needed to be like to be happy, I sacrificed that. But in turn, I definitely learnt a whole bunch. Like, you're like, okay, I'm sacrificing happiness to get to here. But it's like, maybe you achieve the thing. Maybe you let go of the idea that you had about what it meant to be happy in order to, like, maybe it's like fulfill a deadline.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's to save money because you don't have enough money to pay GST that month. So you work instead of having a staff member work. You thought that was happiness. But then maybe you shifted the goalpost. Maybe you're like, well, it taught me a lesson. It was a hard graft, but I executed self-discipline and I actually got to the end of it, and I was like, that was kind of rewarding too. So, like, it's not
always about happiness, is it?
Not.
No.
And I don't think that I don't think life's about happiness. I don't think running a business is about happiness. I think there are moments that you feel happy in running a business when it is in alignment with your virtue and your value. I think when you get those two things together, you're going to feel the natural byproduct will be, I feel happy because of this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because there's an element of truth in that.
Yeah.
And there are moments where it's shit and it's horrible and you don't want to be here, but just to be like, oh, you know, I started a business so I can be happy and live this lifestyle. It's like, that's not realistic.
No.
I think you could ask almost any business owner out there the same question and they might. I don't think they would. I would be surprised if they were like, I'm always happy.
No.
In fact, do you always want to be happy? I think it's in the distance, not distance between, but I think it's in the comparison that you can understand truly like what is. You know, I feel happy when I have a reprieve. Like, you know, an example of that would be I showed up to work and everything worked. Like the printers worked, the iPads were charged. I didn't have gas was ordered for the hot water and something didn't break. Like, yeah, I got through the day.
Yeah.
There's reprieve. I feel happy for that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
If that kind of.
No, that answers it. That's very interesting. Are you comfortable with success? And I'm going to
Interesting.
I'm going to expand on that. The cool quote that I saw the other day by Steve Harvey. Success is not a comfortable procedure. It is a very uncomfortable thing to attempt.
I've not heard that quote. It's a cool quote.
I liked it.
It's not a comfortable procedure. Yeah. The question was, am I comfortable with
success? You're comfortable with it? Because I'm also interested in this idea about people self-sabotaging, not because they're afraid of failure, but because they're afraid of the success that will come from it.
Oh, 100%.
I feel like that's not talked about enough. Like, our first guest, Johnny, said in his episode that he actually has gotten to a point where he likes failure now because he knows that that's where the growth is and that's where the development is, you know, etc.
It's funny you say that because, like, I don't know Johnny super well, but, like, what I do know of him is, like, what he... code switching. If I was to, like, operate in the sense of code switching when I see Johnny, what he radiates is someone that's, like... I can see that he's integrated a whole lot of and it's not just because I know that he's a business owner, but like I can see that he's got a lot of things that he's integrated into himself and his personality because of how he carries himself.
Yeah.
He's not screaming out for attention, but he's not trying to be humble. He's just he's just like
being.
And it's not to like blow smoke up anyone's ass. It's like there's a calming in presence. And I think that comes from kind of what you're talking about. It's how do I say it? It's like I've just completely forgotten my point, and that's great. It is late.
We'll speed that bit up.
What was the we can edit that post.
Is that you're talking about how we can
edit that post. We can edit the post. That was great. I like literally completely lost my whole thing. What was the what? You were just like really what was the I thought you were
just really
no. What was the quote
really
that you read
deeply.
me? What was the quote what was the thing that Johnny had spoken about?
Johnny, no, I
because I was trying to go back to that point and talk about that point, but I completely forgot about it.
How did we get onto the topic of Johnny? You've also made me lose my train of thought.
He was talking about failures. Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's comfortable with failure.
So like to integrate things is to live experience. So, I mean, here's a cliche. I learned so much through my failures.
You know what?
I learned so much through my failures. More than my successes. Well, yeah, but chances are you failed before you succeeded. Yeah. I mean, like, I wanted to draw an analogy, but like maybe not that analogy.
Draw it.
Well, I mean, like a toddler goes through potty training. But first they just like do their business in a nappy. But like, I don't mean to be crass.
No,
we can edit that out too.
No,
but like,
that's funny. That
do you know what I
makes
mean?
sense.
Like, it's like that's the cliche is in the essence of itself. It's like, well, of course, like none of us have a clue when we, start out whatever we're going after, and then it's like we do something, it doesn't work, so we change direction. But my point was really just like focusing in on like maybe the specifics about someone like Johnny. Saying something like, I'm almost like prepared to fail. Like I almost welcome it because he's seen the result of what the lessons that he's learned inside of the failure. Like it's obvious, but like.
But do you think that you need to have quite a strong sense of self though to sit in that feeling? Because that's what I found. So like we talked about this as well in the first episode, which was I used to be a huge perfectionist, and it manifested in sort of quite odd ways because I'm pretty type B and I'm not very orderly as a person really. So it wasn't that sort of perfectionism, but like in law school or as a trainee solicitor, in my past life, it's like if I got an email back that had a critique of my work in it, it would literally be like the whole world was ending because my perfectionism just couldn't. It was like a threat to my identity. Or if I didn't do as well in an exam, it was like, oh my God, what does this say about me? Like, I feel like such a failure, right? I don't know. It really was, it triggered a lot of feelings in me. And eventually I sort of grew out of it because as a trainee solicitor, you don't know anything. So you're constantly getting that feedback.
True.
And that's okay, right? And so I learned to feel okay with it. But I remember that feeling distinctly of fearing failure so much. It was really holding me back.
It like slaps you in the face.
Oh my goodness. It was holding me back.
And like I said, it was obvious before, and it's not actually obvious. But like once you understand, like once you've been through a few cycles of like that point of failure and then like learning the lesson, it becomes obvious to you that it's actually not a bad thing. Like your whole thing as a solicitor, right? The critique on, let's say, like some of your work or maybe a submission or an email or whatever it might have been.
Yeah.
Like that point of critique is actually a node, right? A nodal point that is a catalyst for you working out the distance between your shortcoming and your evolution, or like your shortcoming and the thing that you're going to learn next, because you created a distance between. There was what you thought was congruent and made sense and was just like the thing you needed to do.
Yeah.
There was a node where it was like, oh, there's a fragment there. This isn't complete.
Yes.
So it's like, it's showing you, it's a call to, like we speak to toddlers. We always speak to them slightly above their level of intellect, right? Yeah. Because we're inviting them to growth.
Right.
And I think that like, as we set out to, undertake our endeavors, that it naturally comes back to us, whether it's through somebody that's, maybe they're another business owner, they're more advanced and they see something that we've done. Maybe it's a mentor.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like somebody emails you back and like, you completely stuffed this up. Like learning to welcome those things from the sense.
Oh, it's uncomfortable though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so uncomfortable. I think learning to welcome those things and go, okay, that's a moment for growth.
I think that's where a lot of the magic lies, though.
I think that's
when you really, like Johnny was explaining, like when you really start to feel comfortable with that. Even with this podcast, right? Like my brain still is like telling me all these things that could go wrong, or people are going to say this, or people, like that's only natural. I'm mindful of the fact that there could be failure there, but I think you just need to be comfortable with it.
Do we think about it when we're in a room? Do we apply the same threshold when we're like having a conversation with someone we meet on the sidewalk than we do when we're in front of a camera? It's like, well, you're in front of the camera and you're here now anyway, so just talk, like just have the conversation. But like, it's like It's funny though, because that again is like an indicator. But anyhow.
Interesting.
Yeah. Interesting points.
I've got a few more questions for you.
Okay, great.
Are you hard on yourself?
Yeah, I think I am. I think most people are.
Because I want to delve into this with every guest, like, you know, the inner dialogue.
I want to not be.
Yeah, right. Because it's also where's the sweet spot of being hard on yourself to the point that you are pushing yourself to be better, versus being friends with yourself and being kind to yourself and actually patting yourself on the back when you've done a good job. And like, where is that?
Yeah, totally. I think complacency is different to like, I think if you being hard on yourself or having a standard for yourself, those are two very different things.
Okay.
I think you should have a standard on yourself, for yourself. I think that I'm more terrified of complacency, like 100%, than I am like to fail. Like if I think like to draw the complete, like maybe to exacerbate the point would be to say like, if I was on my deathbed, would I be worried about like, would I be thinking about like the Ferrari I bought? Like, probably not. I'd probably be like, what are the things that I didn't go after that I had the opportunity to do when I had my health? Like that, like, so perspective.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But complacency is like, oh, I lived a safe life, you know, and I was just okay with myself where I was. But like I think if you can hold on to that thing, you could call it passion, you could call it charisma, whatever. But like to hold on to that thing is something special. I think if you can weather the storms of being a business owner and all of the things and the pressures that come along with that, and if you can hold on to the integral part of where you started, even if it's just a little bit, like they say, you know, like with the faith of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. It's like, well, do you still have a piece of that? Or have you just like let the environment shape the instance of you that started in the first place? Like it's going to shape you whether you like it or not. That's just the reality. But like, do you still possess the thing? Like, do you still hold on to that, like that spark? Maybe it is.
As in, like, why you did it in the first place?
Yeah, why you did it. And I think like if you've still got an inkling of that, then you're probably not complacent, because if it's present, you're probably still living and outworking from that place of like, I want to create this. I'm not happy with where I am now because I want to live and put forward the potential that I have. I think that's kind of a thing.
How much of that do you think comes down to intuition though? Because I guess like for some people listening and watching, it's like they might feel, how would they know if they are being complacent? Is that just intuition?
I think being honest with yourself is probably the indicator. I mean, but then how do you know?
How do you know?
That's a whole nother
It's like I felt my intuition when I was working as a lawyer in London. It's like other people would have dreamed to be in that position. My intuition told me that wasn't the life for me. It took me a while to act on that intuition, but I felt it. Like I couldn't really describe the feeling, but I could feel it intuitively that wasn't the life for me. And so like if I had gone down that path, I probably would have sat on my deathbed and looked back and thought, shit, like I shouldn't have lived life like that, right?
Yeah.
So, but I guess, I don't know. I'm curious as to what you think, because I think a lot of it is just like your intuition, like listening to it, really listening to it. But that's such a intangible, like how do you... I don't know. It's tricky.
I think I'm interested in like, how does that have an effect on like the decisions you make as a business owner? Like that's a question in itself too. Like, I'm thinking about this one. I've never been asked this question. Not like this. So I have to think.
That's good.
Intuition though, that's I think that's something that can really serve us as people, not just as a business owner or whatever, but like you've got to. I think for me personally, taking stock like of self, like this happened this week. I feel miserable. I've worked way too much. I'm not paying myself for that work, but sitting down and being like, so spending time with yourself, being like, so how are you? Like, what are you feeling? Where are you at?
I know.
Like, are you actually like, are you still about, does your life still resemble what you had planned for it? And are you happy doing this?
Because the time just goes.
Oh man, it's so
We're in
crazy.
July.
I know, like, what the heck?
This whole year like is flying, and I find that that's one of the most useful things to do is just sitting with yourself. But we're in this age now where it's so easy to constantly distract yourself, and you can there can be weeks, and I'm like, I've not checked in with myself in such a long time.
No, 100%. Like, I definitely need to do that more.
I think we all do. Yeah.
Yep.
That was a good answer. I think we should wrap up.
Yeah. What?
So
we can wrap up.
I've got one last question for you, but you've kind of answered it.
Let's go.
For anyone listening that feels like they're striving to achieve the type of success that you have now, so say they want to set up a small business and run it in the way that you are running it, with integrity and with a value system and all the stuff we've spoken about today, but they feel stuck, what is your best piece of advice that you could give to them?
Don't wait for the circumstances and the timing to be right to start to do something. I think the way that I feel, there are so many ways that I feel successful, but if I was to reflect, the biggest way I feel successful is in the moments that it's the moments that I pushed through, I continued to do and like work out what I set out to start, even in an adversary. So like, and it's actually, the success is really in the growth that I have, the things that I've learned in like persevering. Like, so I thought I could do this by A plus B, but then I tried to do that. I was like, A plus B should mean this. I set out with that metric in mind and I got smacked in the face. It didn't work. So I went to the drawing board. And like through the adversary and like you gain a level of self-respect subconsciously when you push through the things that you have to overcome.
Yeah.
I think it's in that you actually feel successful.
Yeah. I
like
think
as
that's
an
a huge part of it. Yeah.
And you know what? Like when it all is said and done, you walk into your shop and you see people having a good time. They're hanging out, enjoying a coffee. That's great. I love food. I love coffee. But that's not even that important to me. Like, sure, it's important, but like you walk in and you've cultivated a place for experience and you're like, the ego might say, oh, I did all this. And you're like, no. I just participated in it. But you know what? I didn't give up. I didn't give up when things got hard. I learned a whole bunch of things in the process, in the challenge. And I held to my virtue and I held to the thing that I wanted to do. So the advice is like, if you have vision or you have an idea, don't be foolish. Don't just like, okay, I could be as passionate as I want to be an engineer for a Boeing jet company, right? But I don't know the first thing about jet engines, but I can be passionate about it. So like, do your due diligence, spend some time. Like if you've got an idea, do the work.
Yeah.
Like go and research it, go learn all about it. But when it comes to acting out the idea, like don't wait for everything to just fall in line. Just like if you feel confident or if you feel inspired and like you have thought about it, it's never going to be perfect.
There's never a right time.
It's never going to be perfect. Like
And perfect. Yeah, there's never a right time and it's never going to be perfect.
But just know that you're going to, it doesn't matter like what point you start from. The point you start from is probably going to have a high impact on the determining factor of whether you succeed or how long you last. That's for sure.
What do you mean the point you start from?
Well, I mean, like, if you don't know a thing, if you don't know a thing about said passion that you want to see happen in the world, you'll strike at it, and it might like fall away within a week. But if you've really like thought about it and like educated yourself and fortified yourself to a point where you feel like you're ready to go, then like you'll know. But like there's never going to be a perfect time. To what I was saying about it's in the challenging moments that I've overcome where I felt successful.
Yeah.
I'm saying like I'm more speaking to that. It's like if you want to be successful, don't look at it from the I'm going to be successful when I do XYZ. Because like you can have everything and be miserable. Yeah. We've seen that in people. We see it in people all the time.
I saw that all the time.
Like
in London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I am honestly like if I have to be honest with myself, I would say that the self-respect that I've gained through surprising myself in like what I can, you know, the adversary I can push through, the situations that I've that I didn't give up in and I just kept going, then like I think that's probably a very key point and a key marker of success for me.
I agree.
If that makes sense.
Totally. Because I think there was a really good snippet from a Modern Wisdom podcast with Chris Williamson where he is talking about, you know, like self-esteem, like where does that come from? And might butcher this, but his take on that was like, you know, you're always watching yourself. You have your own moral code. You know what you're doing every single day. You know how you're showing up. You can preach to the world about the person that you are and you can post on social media. But if you're not living in alignment with that, you'll know.
The subconscious always keeps score.
And over time, that will affect your sense of self. And actually, it's like you said, you could have everything but not feel like a successful person. And maybe that's because you know that you're not living by your value system, right? And I think there's a lot of power in that. Aside from like owning a business, just like how you go about your day-to-day. Are you living with integrity? Are you being an honest person? We're not perfect. None of us are perfect. But it's like, am I living up to the version of myself that I am telling the world that I am?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, am I that person?
Well, no one can take, the thing is, no one can take that from you. Like, I could lose my business 6 months from now. Yeah. I mean, none of us know what's around the corner. Yeah. But like, yeah, I mean, I could lose my business, but no one can take away the lessons and like the experience. Yeah. That's mine forever, and I can take that and duplicate it if I see fit. Yeah. If I wanted to go into business again, maybe in 2 years time from now, I'll be like, I've had enough. Maybe I'll move on. But like those things that you learn along the way, those are the true markers of success, I think. And no one will take them from you. You'll always have them, and you'll be able to gift them to other people, and you'll be able to share those experiences with other people. And you can just like literally live from that new place that you found. Yeah. And it's like you found a different version of you.
And you're then like investing. No, that makes sense. And you're investing in yourself rather than in things that are external. So like, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's like over time, if you live up to your values and you're watching yourself the whole time and you trust yourself to like do a good job, or you know you're a good person or whatever, over time then it's like, oh, I'd go for a beer with myself, or like, I actually like myself, right? And nobody can take that. Yeah. It's like, would you go for a beer with yourself or a coffee or whatever? I like that. That's cool. I think that's a huge part of feeling successful.
Well, if 34-year-old Sam went to went for a beer with the 26-year-old Sam, man, that'd be a funny conversation.
Yeah.
And I think that...
I can imagine. Quantum physics, all the things.
Yeah, well, that's another... I mean, maybe there's another podcast there, you know? But like...
I think so. You never know.
It's interesting looking back. And that question you first asked about looking forward, that's really interesting too. But success, yeah, what an interesting topic. And I don't even know if I have the answer. I don't even know if I know what it truly is.
Are we circling back as in like what it looks like to you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if I truly know that yet, but I think that I'm proud of, there are things that I'm proud of, and there are things about myself that I'm proud of that I didn't used to be.
Yeah.
So if in that detail lies success, then I'll take it.
Nice.
On the quantum field or wherever.
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Yeah.
Good, great chat,
Sam. Thank you.
I've got lots to think about now.
I know, all
Thank
the tabs up in the brain.
Thank you. Yep, all those
Loads of tabs.
Yep.
Loads of tabs. Thank you,
cool.
Sam.
Anytime.
That was great.